Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jadwiga. I am your fairy tale teller. And today I tell you a little story I found in this book. It only has Italian stories, Italian fairy tales, and sometimes it's amazing how similar they are to the fairy tales we know from Germany. So this story is very similar to Snow White, but also to the mountain simile or semsi. And it shows that these toppings, these problems, are not just locally included, but they are maybe even worldwide. And this one, I'm pretty sure, is a worldwide topic. It's called Beautiful Venezia, and it goes like that. Once upon a time, there were a mother called Beautiful Venezia and her daughter who run a restaurant for rich people, because whenever a king, earl, duke, or whatever passed their city, they would have a meal in Beautiful Venezia's restaurant. And when they came in and sat at the table, she stepped toward them, talked a little while, and then asked, "Where are you from?" And they said, "Maybe from Turin, from Rome, wherever." And her next question was, "Have you ever seen a woman more beautiful than me?" And the men always shook their heads and said, "No, we've never seen a woman more beautiful than you." And this made her so happy that when it came for them to pay their bills, she said, for example, "Well, your bill makes 12 crowns, but I only charge you for 6. Or your bill makes 15 crowns, I only charge you for 8." Because she was so grateful for these compliments she got. But one day it happened that when she asked a new guest, "Have you ever seen a woman more beautiful than me?" that her daughter just passed behind her. And the guest, seeing her daughter, said, "Yes, yes, I did." "Who is it? Where is she?" "Well, she just passed that room." And of course, Beautiful Venezia knew this can only be my daughter. So she was very angry and jealous, and she called the kitchen boy and said, "Listen, I want you to create a little tiny house on the beach. Bring my daughter there, lock her in, and once a day you may bring her something to eat and to drink that which you reach through her through a very little window. And there won't be more windows, no door, nothing else." The kitchen boy did what she had asked for, and the daughter, the even more beautiful daughter, was locked in that little house. One day, a man passed that house and he was curious because he had never seen it before. He walked around and he saw that tiny window, looked into it, and saw the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. Because the daughter, in spite of being locked in and sitting in the dark, she became more and more beautiful every day. And of course, it happened that this man went for dinner to beautiful Venezia. And when she asked him, "Have you ever seen a woman more beautiful than me?" "Yes, yes, yes, I did." Where is she?" "Well, she's locked in a little house on the beach." Of course, beautiful Venezia knew that this was her daughter. And she called the kitchen boy. She said, "Do you want to marry me?" Or she wanted, he couldn't even imagine, even if in his dreams he would not have dared to dream of getting married to beautiful Venezia, he, the kitchen boy. And yes, he wanted, but there was a condition. And the condition was, "Bring my daughter into the woods, kill her, and bring me her eyes and her blood to prove that you have done that." the kitchen boy wanted to marry beautiful Venezia, but he did not want to kill her daughter. So he took the girl into the forest and instead of killing her, let her free and killed a little lamb, took the eyes and the blood and brought that to beautiful Venezia. Now the girl, of course, was desperate. She was helpless. She did not know where to go and what to do. She knew she could not return back home. When she heard voices, she went there and saw 12 robbers gathering around a huge white rock. She was hiding behind a tree and then watched one of the robbers standing in front of that white rock saying, "Desert, open up." The rock opened, the 12 men went inside, and the last one said, "Desert, close you up again." And the rock closed. After a while, the 12 men came out, and after they had left, the girl stood in front of that white rock and said, "Desert, open up." And the rock opened. The girl went in, closed the rock behind her, and what she found was really surprising. There was a long, long table with 12 plates and glasses and cutlery. And there was a piece of bread on each plate. There was a bottle of wine beside each one and a broiled chicken on each plate. So she went inside that cave and she found 12 beds, which she made neatly. She cleaned up the rooms, she made the dishes, she did some washing from dirt laundry. And after she had said everything fine, she realized she was very hungry. But since she did not dare to just eat one portion, she took a wing of each of the chicken and a little sip of wine of each of the bottles, and she bit into each of the breads. And when the robbers returned back, she immediately crawled under a bed and was hiding there. Of course, the robbers coming in immediately realized someone has been here. This is not the way we have left our cave. And next day, they left the youngest outside in front of the rock, and he should take care and watch who would come into their cave. And when the other 11 returned that night and entered the cave, of course, they immediately saw someone had been there, and the youngest, the guard, had not realized that. And they made jokes about him and said, you are too stupid. You don't even see somebody entering our cave." And the next day, another robber stood outside to have a look what happened. And the same thing happened. The girl cleaned up everything, and before the robbers returned, crawled under the bed. This happened day after day after day, until there was only one robber left who had not watched yet, and this was the boss himself. But he did not stand outside, he stayed within the cave. And the girl had not realized that she was that she was not alone, but that there was still one robber left. She came out of under the bed, and the robber grabbed her and said, "Oh, so that's you. But don't be afraid. You have done a really beautiful and good job. So if you want to do that forever, you may stay here and you will be like a little sister to us." And of course, the girl was happy. She was more than happy. And she took care for the household of these 12 robbers, and everybody was happy and content. Now, this youngest robber, he liked to play the big and rich man. So he liked to dress up and go for dinner in the best restaurants of town. And when he sat at beautiful Venezia's restaurant table, she asked him, "Where do you come from?" And he said, "Oh, I come from the woods." "And have you ever seen a woman more beautiful than me?" "Oh, yes, sure," he said. "Where?" she asked. "Oh, in our cave. There is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen." Beautiful Venezia was not stupid. She knew that her husband, the kitchen boy, had betrayed her. And we don't know what she did to him, but there was an old woman, and everyone knew she was a witch. And this old woman occasionally came begging for food to the restaurant. And next time she came, beautiful Venezia said, "Listen, I will serve you the best menu you have ever seen and eaten if you do me a little favor. And this is kill my daughter who lives down there in the woods with the 12 robbers." "Oh, that's an easy thing to do," said the old woman. She took a basket full of wonderful goods which young girls might enjoy, called her out of that cave. And when the girl stepped out, she said, "Listen, look here what I've done, what I've got. And for example, look at this beautiful hairpin. It would look so nice in your hair, I'm sure. Let me show you." And she took that hairpin, but instead of putting it into the hair of the girl, she put it into her skin. And since it was poisoned, the girl fell down dead. Now, when the robbers returned back home and found the girl dead, they were so sad. They were weeping, they were crying because they really loved that girl. And since they did not want to bury her, they put her into a hollow tree where she was sitting and not decomposing, funny enough. And of course, one day a prince came along, a prince who was just passing on a hunting trip, and his dog stopped barking. And when the prince came closer to see what his dogs had found, he saw that girl. And he said, "Well, if you were not dead, I would marry you immediately. But you're so beautiful, I cannot live without you. I love you, and I will take you home." So he called his other hunters and said, "I will carry that girl into my castle and bring her into a separate secret space and my parents don't have to know about that." They did that. And the prince sat by her bed day and night, just watching her and loving her. And he couldn't help, he couldn't leave until one day his mother came and said, "This is really strange. What are you doing here?" And when she saw that girl, she said, "She's dead. What do you want with a dead girl?" "Oh," said her son, "I love her so much. I love her. I cannot leave her. I need her." And the mother looked at that girl and said, "Well, she could need a comb. Her hair is completely weird." So she called the hairdresser, the royal hairdresser, and he tried to comb the hair of the girl, but the comb broke apart. And the second did the same. And after he had 7 broken combs, he said, "Something's wrong here. Something is not right." And he started to touch the head of that girl and found that needle. There was still a tiny piece looking out. And he carefully grabbed that and slowly, slowly, slowly pulled that needle out And the girl regained color in her face. She opened her eyes. She said, "Where am I?" And the prince, imagine, was more than happy, and they married immediately. Now, we don't know what happened to beautiful Venezia, because other than in Snow White, we never hear from her. Her daughter and the prince get married, and that's the end of the story. But it's a story of a woman, a very beautiful woman, who obviously does not accept that she's getting older and that her beauty is fading, and that there are younger women growing up and being more beautiful than her. Because this elder woman has not understood that, or she simply denies that outer beauty fades. It does. There is no help, even though there is a whole industry making millions with the hope of people, mostly women, to save their youth or maybe even return the aging process. That's not possible. I mean, you cannot even stop the process of aging. Maybe you can slow it down a bit. But the best creams, the most expensive nutritions and medicines and treatments and whatever you can do cannot stop you aging. And this woman has not understood that she has to replace her outer beauty with inner beauty, or to combine the both. I mean, this is the optimum when a woman is beautiful, but also has a warm heart, when she's compassionate and loving and caring, and this inner beauty spreads outside so everybody can see it. And I know a lot of old women who obviously have been very beautiful in their youth, but still have the aura and the energy and the energy of beauty. But this comes from inside, and it mirrors on their faces. So this mother, unfortunately, has not understood that. And she's even so angry and so fearful of losing her beauty that she even wants to kill her daughter. I mean, this is really weird. And we maybe even have pity with her that she does not understand the way of life. And interesting enough, we have the 7, the number that is in Snow White with the 7 dwarfs and the 7 mountains. And this number 7 is so important in that story. And the 12. So in this case, it's 12 robbers. And actually, I wondered, what does it mean, this sentence, desert, open up? Maybe it means that the outer world is like a desert. And when we come inside our souls, inside, in this case, the cave, which is a symbol maybe for our inner world, then we have everything we want, we need, everything we can enjoy. But outside, so the girl comes from a desert. There is no love, there is no happiness, there are no friends, there is no nobody who sees her. She's in a desert. And now she comes into that cave. Now she has contact. Now she can do something useful and important. And she's loved by the 12 robbers. And interesting enough, they treat her like her little sister. So if you hear of 12 robbers and a beautiful young girl, oh, no, they are good. They really love her and treat her like the little sister. Yep, I hope you enjoyed that little story. And if you did so, give me a thumb and maybe subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye.